is EV versus fuel cell a bit like VHS versus Betamax, and everyone's going to, think, why did that ever happen? Or is there something that will happen that will make fuel cell kind of take off? Because it strikes me that at the moment, if you don't have the infrastructure, how's anyone going to have the confidence to buy it? Or does it rely on, will it be like you say about a regional market? If someone puts fuel cell in some city, puts a fuel cell, a hydrogen filling station in the city, and then you'll be able to grow a little market around that, and maybe because their range is bigger.
But I think it was interesting, the H2 guys who did the study on how many you actually needed in the UK to get coverage. They were saying in the growth you only need 64 to start with. By 2020 they were looking at about 1,150, something like that. Actually, it's a relatively small number that you'd actually require to actually potentially open up that market.
Does it require government action to
I think it requires government incentive. I think that's the issue. That the difference between the major advantage on fuel cell is the fact you could use the current infrastructure of petrol stations. So therefore, you haven't got to put EV poles up everywhere and that sort of thing. So you've got the potential infrastructure there. It's how much it costs to actually implant that. And because there have been so few done, they're obviously very expensive so far. It's when you get the economies of scale, if you're putting in 1,000, how much would it come down to? And at the moment, nobody has actually done that work to actually say, right, if we actually put in a hydrogen fuel cell refuelling station, how much would it cost if we're doing 1,000 across the country? If we get to that figure and then incentivise companies to do that, and there are companies that I think would be interested in doing that, then you get the momentum building up.
I think just to clarify, and if that's part of the question you asked as well, is that if you take an electric vehicle, you can stick a traditional battery in it, which today would be lithium-ion or something like that, or you can have a hydrogen fuel cell. It's the same technology. Hydrogen fuel cell is just another form of battery, really. So it's not really a VHS and Betamax thing. I mean, you could take exactly the same car and adapt it to run on a hydrogen fuel cell. And I think, as Jim says, there is an attraction to that, because actually, with a bit of incentive, the fuel, there's a bit of chicken and egg here, because if there were enough fuel stations that had, that could supply you with hydrogen, people would buy into the technology, and if the fuel stations wait till people buy into the technology, it won't happen. So somewhere there needs to be a bit of oil on the wheels to make it happen. But I think, as you rightly say, it was a sort of holy grail for a while, because the technology was a bit beyond anybody. But we're rapidly getting to the point where there are and there are a lot of collaborations going on in the industry between manufacturers. Toyota seem to have quite a way forward on this. Hyundai as well have got quite a big commitment around it. But I think pretty much everybody has got a lot of work going on around hydrogen fuel cells.